game against the Dodgers, the Bucs will play 13 of their next 16 against decided have-nots, after which they will play 14 in a row against teams that are either in first place or have been there within the last 2 weeks. A win against the Dodgers tonight would not only give them this series, but might also be a springboard into the next 30 games, which very well could dictate the outcome of the season.
Last night, the Pirates used 3 solo home runs to get out in front early of the Dodgers, and then the Dodgers fought back to tie it. The Pirates would win it going away, but Ike Davis, Neil Walker, and Gregory Polanco set the stage for what turned out to be a wild night at PNC Park, and we welcome you to the Jewel on the North Shore. Greg Brown along with Bob Walk. The Pirates conclude their 6-game homestand. They look for a series win against the Dodgers. They're battling for the top spot, the Pirates are, in the National League Central Division. Bob, you take a look at those guys that hit the home runs. No surprise that Neil Walker was right in the middle of it. He's one of the top second basemen in baseball, and he's having, along with 3 other Pirate players, a real strong month of July.
Yeah, Walker really is back into that perfect form he had before he got hurt. A little slow coming off the DL, but he's got it going here this month. And one of the things that I really like about it is Walker's still hitting those home runs. And with the home runs, especially hitting in that middle of that lineup where he is now, he's going to be getting a lot of RBIs. And as you can see, there's a lot of help all around him there, especially this month of July.
Our 4 lows never stop improving Buccos. Andrew McCutchen, Russell Martin, Jordy Mercer, and Neil Walker. Speaking of improving, how about last night Gregory Polanco, the home run and a big base hit the other way that brought in a couple of runs after a little bit of a slide. Maybe he's getting back to form.
Yeah, I think with every young guy that comes up to the league, you have to expect a lot of ups and downs. And, you know, last night was one of those ups, we hope, for Polanco, where he gets up off the canvas, starts to punch back a little bit. And I got to believe that home run and this pitch right here, that was a clutch base hit. It was a 3-2 pitch. Bases were loaded. Everybody in the stadium yelling on their feet. That was just a great moment for him. The confidence has got to be back right now, and hopefully he's going to take off for a while.
We expect another big crowd on hand tonight for the finale of this 6-game homestand. The Pirates again battling for the top spot in the National League Central Division. And Francisco Liriano, Frankie, finding his form. He's on the mound tonight against the Dodgers. Coming up next. here at PNC Park. Andrew McCutchen about ready to take the field. Trying to lead the Pirates to a series win over the Los Angeles Dodgers and gain more ground on those Reds who fell to the Brewers earlier today, and keep pace with the first place Brewers. Pirates started the day 2.5 back of Milwaukee, just a game behind the second place Cardinals, as the Cardinals host the Tampa Bay Rays. Travel day tomorrow. Pirates will, many of them, if not all of them, play in the Pirates Charities Golf Tournament tomorrow, and then fly out to Denver to begin a 10-game road trip. Neil Walker leads the way on a Root Sports field cam. He has been red hot lately. 10 hits in his last 17 at bats.
Well, he's been leading the way in several different categories. Been making some nice plays on defense, hitting the ball out of the ballpark, getting the base hits, the RBIs.
Here's Don Mattingly's lineup. And it is brought to you by Honda. D. Gordon, Matt Kemp, Adrian Gonzalez, who is a .304 career hitter at PNC Park with 7 homers in 24 games, including one last night. Scott Van Slyke in center field. Take a good look at that. Is that weird here in Pittsburgh? Van Slyke in center, then Juan Uribe, Carl Crawford, Miguel Rojas, the shortstop, Drew Butera catching, and Dan Herron is on the mound.
Take a look at Francisco's numbers on the year. Nothing really good. The ERA is acceptable, but not great. He would love to just kind of turn the page here and be able to start over here on this second half and really get on a roll. And instead of going 1-7, maybe turn that around to a 7-1. That'd be nice. But a lot of that starts with that control. Got to handle his business there early in the count. Get these guys to chase.
Here's the defense behind Liriano, brought to you by Volvo. Andrew McCutchen in center. Gregory Polanco and Travis Snyder on the corners. On the infield, Josh Harrison, Jordy Mercer on the left side, Neil Walker, Ike Davis on the right side, and Russell Martin catches Liriano. Jay Hay at third, as he came in for Pedro Alvarez last night. Left knee discomfort for Alvarez. We talked to him before the game. He said he feels fine, but they're keeping him out of the lineup tonight, at least the starting lineup. And Pirates will not have Starling Marte in the lineup tonight or for the next week, as he has been placed on the concussion DL, the 7-day DL. And Brent Morrell up from AAA Indianapolis the second time. A brief stay with the Pirates earlier this year. 0-1 on D. Gordon and a couple of strikes. Gordon 0 for 3 last night with a walk and 2 out of 8 in the series. Wow.
.88 mile-an-hour slider. That's good velocity for that pitch.
1-2 now on Gordon. Struck him out.
Another one at 88.
Well, we saw some good signs from Liriano in his most recent start.
This is location and good velocity. When you get that velocity up a little bit on the slider, you get a little sharper break. Look how that ball, once it started cutting down and away, it almost accelerated. Just gave that appearance, that sharp break to it.
Ray Searage, pitching coach, looks on, standing next to Nick Leyva with the batting helmet on. Matt Kemp now. Matt Kemp, 2 out of 5 last night. He is 3 for 9 in the series. Taken for a ball. The Pirates will employ the overshift with 3 infielders on the left side, as Liriano faces the Dodgers for the 3rd time in his career. Matt Kemp hit cleanup the first 2 games of this series. Take a look at by direction. Balls in play for Kemp.
Yeah, the ground ball 70% up to the left side. That's why you have that shift.
And just as quickly as he strikes out Gordon, he walks Kemp.
So we get the good and the bad immediately from Liriano. The great location and a good hard breaking slider to start things off, and then a real quick base on balls to follow that up with.
Last night ejected following Justin Wilson's ejection. Clint Hurdle went out there, defended his pitcher, and he was tossed. Toby Basner was the home plate umpire, now umping at third, and it was he who ejected Justin Wilson. And later Clint Hurdle took a seat in the clubhouse. Ball one on Adrian Gonzalez. And a 2-run homer of Jared Hughes right after Wilson hit Turner in the 7th inning. And that home run, the 15th of the season for Adrian Gonzalez. There's Justin Wilson. Did what he had to do. He missed with the first pitch, but then ended up plunking Justin Turner. That was right after Andrew McCutchen was hit the previous half inning up on the shoulder. 94 on the fastball, 1-2 on Adrian Gonzalez.
I saw a shot of Justin earlier from last night where, as he was getting ready to go down the tunnel, he was pointing up to his head, looking out at the umpire. I think probably telling him, you know, hey, I didn't throw the ball up around his head. I kept the ball down. You could have gave me the benefit of the doubt.
And Martin wanted it out there, but no chase from Adrian Gonzalez. 2-2.
As it turned out, everything worked out for the Pirates. They got the good win. Offense did a great job.
And as you said, Bob, that is within the umpire's right. If he feels that throwing at someone intentionally, he can't. They don't have to give the warning.
Nope. They think you're intentionally plunking somebody, they can toss you.
Another fastball that misses. Now it's 3-2.
And I imagine they're encouraged to do so.
Tonight, Las Diaz calls the balls and strikes. He was at first base last night. Now Mark Carlson at first. The crew chief is Jeff Nelson. There he is. 3-2 on Gonzalez with Kemp aboard. And back-to-back walks. A 4-pitch walk to Kemp. And he loses Gonzalez on a 3-2 offering. Last time out for Liriano was good in terms of the fact he gave up just 1 run. He only pitched 5 innings. One of those, that 1 run unearned. 3 hits. He walked 3 and struck out 8. Here is Scott Van Slyke. A pinch hit home run of Justin Wilson, off Tony Watson in the 8th inning last night. So Van Slyke playing center field in Pittsburgh for the first time since the mid-90s. And 1. Andy Van Slyke, his dad, is now a coach for the Seattle Mariners.
Scott looks like he should be in the Northwest. And that big beard.
You don't think of Andy right away when you see that, do you?
You don't think of Andy at all when you see him. Andy was very fluid with everything that he did. And Scott looks like he kind of just tries to overpower everything. He's real big, strong.
Scott Van Slyke, a 14th round pick in 2005 by these Dodgers.
Expos used to have a big third baseman named Larry Parrish.
Yeah.
You remember him?
Yep.
That's who Scott reminds me of.
So this is his dad, and you're and nothing about this makes you think Scott Van Slyke. Andy, the former Pirate.
Well, some of it too was those like real tight form-fitting uniforms. You don't, there's no sloppiness about it. Andy going into the bricks hard.
Andy Van Slyke played for the Pirates from 1987 to 1994. 5 consecutive Gold Gloves.
Absolutely an outstanding center fielder.
3-time All-Star.
Strong arm, very accurate. Very smart on where to play. Got good jumps on balls.
Two balls, 2 strikes. 2 on, 1 out. Strikes him out of the pitch in the dirt. Second K for Liriano.
That slider again. That downstairs. Got the swing and miss. Got the chase. That's what you're looking for. A lot of sliders tonight. Not very many change up so far.
Juan Uribe 1 for 5 last night, 3 for 10 in the series. Swing and miss percentage. Francisco Liriano, our Barrel League leaders, is the leader in baseball. And in the air to right, Polanco back a couple steps. A couple of walks don't hurt Liriano. Half inning in the books. Buccos come to bat against Dan Herron. We'll check out the starting lineup for Clint Hurdle's team. Brought to you by Toyota. It's Gregory Polanco, followed by Travis Snyder and Andrew McCutchen. Neil Walker hits cleanup. Russell Martin followed by Ike Davis last night, his first homer since June the 9th. Josh Harrison at third base, Jordy Mercer at short, and Liriano.
Take a look at Dan Herron's numbers so far on the season. Just so-so, not bad, but nothing great. Mentioned earlier that he doesn't really come at you with a lot of fastballs. His total amount of fastballs this year, about 35% of what he throws. So you got to be a little patient. Make sure that you're getting something up in the strike zone. Get a good swing at with him. That's something we always talk about. It seems like when Polanco is up there, is his patience and what we've seen from him as a young man. For the most part, I think he's got good marks in that department. He doesn't chase a lot of bad pitches.
And a liner to right field for Gregory Polanco on an 0-1 pitch.
Trying to go down and away. Look like he did go down and away. That's going out there and getting a pitcher's pitch and doing something with it.
Those long arms. Whacking it into right.
Give the wrist a little support.
Dodgers signed Herron as a free agent in November. Now 33 years old. Three-time All-Star. Polanco has swiped 6 bases and caught twice with the Pirates. Snyder goes the other way and a base hit.
Yeah, Snyder's really changed a lot from that first year with the Pirates. Remember when he first came up, it was just pull, 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 and more often than not, he's looking to stay inside the baseball and go the other direction with it, even on a pitch that's in like this one.
Andrew McCutchen was 0 for 3 last night, was hit by a pitch, walked, scored a run. Hard to imagine Pirates scoring a dozen runs, a dozen hits, and McCutchen, well, they didn't need his bat last night. There's a line drive right at Uribe.
Good job with the base runners. Everybody froze. Of course, that ball's hit that hard. There's not enough time to do anything but freeze. That's how hard it was hit. Touched it and get out of the batter's box.
It's discouraging. Well, 4 pitches into the game for Dan Herron. A couple of line drive hits and a line out. So Neil Walker 10 hits in his last 17 at bats. Walker has reached base safely in 20 straight games. That's the longest active streak in the majors. Last night 2 for 4, drove in 3.
Took him a little while to get his timing down after a stint on the DL. Home runs is just a great addition to his game, what he can do. And last year, about half his home runs came in that final month of September. And you know, one of the, I think, the wintertime question marks is Neil going to be able to continue that kind of power hitting? The answer was yes.
Speaking of that, Herron has given up 20 home runs. It's tied for the second most in the league. Only Marco Estrada of the Brewers has given up more. Estrada has allowed 27. Eric Stoltz of the Padres has also given up 20.
Estrada pitches in Miller Park too. That's part of the reason. It's a great hitters, great home run hitters ballpark. Dodger Stadium, not so much. Definitely a pitcher's park.
And Padres, Eric Stoltz with 20. Well, the other way, going to slice into the seats.
Yeah, those two don't really make a whole lot of sense. Be pitching a lot of day games.
Herron gave up 28 last year for the Washington Nationals. Came to the big leagues with the Cardinals. 3 seasons with Oakland. 3 years with the Diamondbacks. Was a Los Angeles Angel for 2.5 years. So back in the National League now with the Dodgers. Full count on Walker. Second time the Pirates, by the way, have seen Herrin this season. He had a no decision back on May 29th. Pirates scored 3 in 6 innings off of him. The Bucks won the game 6-3, and now Butera will go out and talk to Herrin.
Herrin didn't. I didn't see him say a word. Just nodded yes. It seemed like he was shaking off everything, like there was something he wanted to throw, and he wasn't seeing that sign. But then when they talked about it, he didn't say anything. He's going to go with his catcher.
And he walked him. First big threat, and when the Pirates score first in the first inning, they have won 14 consecutive games when scoring in the opening frame. That's the longest Pirate streak since 1975. Scoring in the first and winning 14 straight of them. Well, the Dodgers threatened. They had 2 on with 1 out in the top of this inning, but Liriano struck out Van Slyke, got Uribe to fly out. Here they are loaded for Russell Martin, who was 2 for 3, hit twice last night and drove in a pair. Ball 1.
Nice patience taking that first pitch, and it doesn't miss by a whole lot. There's a little bit of a breaking ball, so it looks like it's in the strike zone for most of its travel toward the plate. Same thing again. That'll, in this situation, be able to bring the ball up a little bit. You want to be able to put the ball toward the outfield, where Herrin is wanting you to reach out, try to pull something down and away, and he's looking for a ground ball to short.
Three and 0. A one-time Dodger catcher Russell Martin. Herrin has walked 23 in 117 innings. He has 86 strikeouts. Polanco, Snyder, and Walker aboard. And swinging on the 3-0 and fouled it off. The 3-0 swing.
Ball got a little bit of a tail, came in. I don't think Russell realized that ball was that far inside when he decided to take a run at it.
Whoa.
Now that's kind of pitch you're looking for, 3-0 or 3-1. That's elevated. That looked like it was about bell high right down the middle. Yeah, that's what you want to take that whack at when the base is loaded.
Carlos Gomez impersonation.
Yeah. Hat stayed on them.
Yeah. Walked him and a run in. 35 RBIs for Martin. Polanco trots across the plate. Take you through the pitch by pitch here.
First 3 were pretty good pitches. A couple of breaking balls just missing on that outside corner. 2-0 pitch, he tries to just dot an eye with a fastball. Missed with that down there too. Got a little bit of a break there on that one. That was a bad pitch. You'd like to really get that one back and hammer it somewhere, but it doesn't matter because then he went upstairs. I don't think he was going up there on purpose, not looking for a chase. He's just trying to throw a high strike, maybe get a pop fly. Got nothing but ball 4.
So still loaded for Ike Davis. Last night, the Pirates scored a run via the bases loaded walk. In fact, Chris Perez, the reliever, walked 4 straight after he got Michael Martinez to pop up in the 8th inning. He walked Gregory Polanco, Travis Snyder, Andrew McCutchen, and Neil Walker in succession. Two of those grand slams hit this year by Davis. And hits this one in the air to shallow left. Crawford, not a very good arm, will make the catch. Snyder will come across, and he will score easily. And moving from second to third on the play is Neil Walker. Now, Martin did not move, but the Pirates lead on the sacrifice fly from Davis.
Crawford did a good job of hitting the cutoff man, but probably if he had to do this over again, he would have just threw the ball to third base. There's the cut, the shovel. Too late.
So a couple of hits, a couple of walks, and a sacrifice fly. And now Josh Harrison. Lined into left field, and that's a base hit. Walker scores. Russell Martin around and headed to third. The ball settles in the corner. Harrison's going to drive in a pair with a double down the line and left. It's 4-0.
Those are kind of hits that win ball games. Those big hits to add on to an inning when there's already 2 outs. Get up there and fire one down the chalk line, hit a gap, anything like that. Score a couple more. Turn a good solid inning into a nice big inning. Early in a game like that, these can be game winners.
Well, the perfect scenario, the ball just died as Crawford waited for it to carry him around. And that allowed Martin to score easily. Jay Hay. Quick end to a little mini hitless string. He was 0 for 6 for ripping that one down the line and left. And now Jordy Mercer. Mercer 0 for his last 7. Don Mattingly and Rick Honeycutt, the pitching coach, looking on. And now 17 earned in the first inning in his 21 starts. 20 total.
Well, Greg, it's great, isn't it, to get the crowd into the game early like this?
It absolutely is.
4 runs in the first inning. Big crowd here tonight, too.
And like that, the first 2 games of the series. And now we've got another hyped up crowd.
Something to hoop and holler about early. Boy, that is a nice crowd, isn't it?
An intentional walk now. Mercer didn't offer at the first 2. Oh, quick instruction from Jeff Bannister for Liriano.
Swing hard in case you hit it. Liriano, the power he has, if he ever does get into one, it's going to be an impressive sight.
Mike Davis, the sacrifice fly.
A lot of happy smiles in that dugout now. Got that good lead early.
Liriano lines it to right, but it's going to carry out to Kemp. 9 to the plate for a score. Josh Harrison, big part of it, ripped that double down the line and left, driving in a couple. So Liriano has the 4-0 lead now. Bob, you have put a graphic here together for us about the difference in Liriano's velocity in terms of his fastball and his slider from last year.
Well, it's really a pretty significant difference when you look at the numbers on the velocity side of things, and then look at the opposition batting average, and it's had a huge effect. I think especially if you look at the slider, he didn't give up any hits last year on that hard slider, 0.60 to lefties. That was their batting average. This year it's gone to 231, which isn't horrible, but that's a big difference from where it was last season. Now, the last couple of starts, the velocity on both its fastball and the slider is starting to pick up a little bit, getting a little stronger, and the swings and misses are starting to come on that slider. We've seen it in his last start, and now we've seen it early on here in the first inning when he got a couple of strikeouts.
This to the left-handed hitter Crawford is fouled away. Take a look at the velocity.
See how it's all coming up? Either that or it's the price of gold. I'm not sure what that is.
Keep in mind, just 2 starts in July, but those are the 2 we're talking about since coming off the disabled list. That velocity up a tick, and now he hits Crawford.
But we've seen sliders already today at 88, and a couple of balls that looked like they might have been sliders over 90 miles an hour. Now I'm thinking that those were sliders that he just didn't get around on them very far. He stayed behind the ball a little too much. Here we see that ball just kind of nicked the elbow guard, it looked like. Is that what it hit, Greg?
Looked like it.
Just brushed it.
Miguel Rojas.
Listen, Rick. You hear that double click. The first sound is the ball hitting the elbow guard. The next sound hitting the glove.
And then ball 2, fastball. They've got Hanley Ramirez still out. He and Yasiel Puig not playing in this series as they were hit by pitches against the Cardinals over the weekend. They saw Justin Turner at short the first 2 games of the series. Tonight, Rojas, the rookie, has just 77 at bats, and now 2-1. Picked him off, and they will get him. See, Ike Davis, there's no panic in Ike Davis. Took a big step, made sure to get a good throw off.
He does everything cool and calm. He's not really an excitable type. He's gonna just make the play.
Mercer applying the tag.
He moves up on the grass to take the throw, which gives him a good angle to throw the ball down to Mercer. Kind of see that's the way he takes his at-bats also. That he's not afraid to take some pitches. He'll go to 2 strikes at times. Very patient hitter. Even when he wants to dispute a call at first base.
Yeah, that's right. Last night, the first inning, he just waved. He just like waved. Come on, Clint, come on out.
Yeah, some guys, they get all excited. He's just like, okay, we'll see about that.
Well, they had Walker played perfectly. A hit batter, caught stealing, and now a ground out. 2 away. By the way, that is the 11th opponent a Pirate pitcher has caught this season. That's the most in the major leagues. Pirate pitcher pickoffs. Preventing the pilfering
of a pickled peck of pickled peppers. No, that's not how it goes. How's it go?
That's right.
That's right. Pickled peck?
Peck of pickled peppers. Drew Butera doing the catching tonight. Butera, also the son of a former big leaguer. Talked about Scott Van Slyke, Andy's son, D. Gordon. There's a former closer's son, Tom Flash Gordon. There's Andy's son, and you know all about Neil Walker and his dad, Tom. Ike Davis, of course, his dad, former closer in the big leagues and briefly played for the Dodgers. A couple of strikes now. 2-2 on Drew Butera, who caught Francisco Liriano's no-hitter back in 2011. And he caught Beckett's earlier this year. 3-2. Only 5 times in history has a catcher pulled off that feat, catching no-hitters in both leagues. It remains 3-2. Liriano walked 2 in the first, struck out a pair. Pitcher on deck. I'd like to leave him there. Still 3-2. What a season for Liriano last year. The comeback player of the year as he went 16-8. And another foul at 95.
Had the late start to the season because of the broken arm, and if he could have pitched an entire year like he did,
who knows?
Might have been right there for the Cy Young Award.
Didn't make his first start until May the 11th last year. Trying to figure out how to get Drew Butera out. That's how.
Slider, swing and a miss. We're seeing a lot of those early on here tonight.
Baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by the all-new Chrysler 200, America's import. By Toyota. Now's the time to go places with Toyota. Visit buyatoyota.com for special offers. And by PNC Bank, for the achiever in you. Let's go Bucks!
a 4 spot in the first inning. And part of the crowd at Gunner's Lounge on the club level here at PNC Park. Gregory Polanco got things going with a base hit to right field off of Dan Herron.
That's where the ice cream machine is, Gunners.
We were on a scouting mission a couple years ago, weren't we? Named after the great Bob Prince, longtime Pirate voice. 2-0 on Gregory Polanco. Baseball Commissioner Bowie Kuhn here yesterday was talking about the great tradition of Bud Selig. Oh, what do you want? I'm a little tired. You've not made a mistake. You should hear what the truck is saying right now. Peter Uberoth, they're saying. Who else? Go ahead. Name them all. Yeah, Giamatti, Kennesaw Mountain Landis. Yeah, that would have been a good one. Who did I miss? Forget it. Ball bounced to. I'm sorry, repeat that. Commissioner Gordon. I did that for you, Bob.
I know you did. I'm really proud of you.
Really.
Thank you.
What I was saying was Commissioner Bud Selig was referring to Bowie Kuhn and the former commissioners. And so I was talking about Bowie Kuhn being one of them and the tradition of the baseball commissioners and tradition of baseball here in Pittsburgh. What you didn't see is I'd hit the cough button. There's a drive deep to right field. Clear the deck. Cannonball coming.
Well, he pulled that one. Didn't stay inside that ball. Go for a hit the other way. That was a back row shot.
Boy, talk about the old days. That was majestic.
Well, that's the way you like to see somebody hit a home run. Just an absolute shot, no doubt. You can definitely go into your trot on your first step out of the box on that one.
His first homer since June 22nd. His 5th of the year. A no doubter.
A breaking ball on the inside corner. And he hit it like he knew it was coming. Head down right on the baseball.
Travis Snyder almost left the ballpark. That close. Yeah, look at that reaction. Getting that souvenir. Listen to the crowd reaction.
Don't you love that shot there, though?
I love it. I love seeing it from there and then hearing the crowd react. Roller to third.
It's kind of like the last couple of nights watching the old lumber company just come out and pound the baseball. Back in Bowie Kuhn's day.
Yeah, look at the Health Network Super Bowl. Look at Travis Snyder does the surfs in there, slides into the yes, yes, yes alley.
Might be kind of flying a little bit. Is it a bird? It's kind of moving sideways. We'll have to do a little research on that. Do you think everybody's kind of come up with their own
I think they,
own moves to go through the line?
Yeah, I do.
I kind of like that one.
And 1. And now on to the count on Walker with a free pass in the first. 5-0 Pirates. Travis Snider getting a chance to play with Starling Marte, now officially on the 7-day DL. Was in there last night and delivered a couple of key hits and a walk. And Herring gets the strikeout looking. Travis Snider crushes one to give the Pirates a 5-0 lead.
Pirates Baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by the Chevy Equinox and your Western PA Chevy dealers. And by Day Automotive. We're going to make your day. Let's go, Bucks!
This is how Travis Snider was greeted when he went out to left field. Some of the Loonies, and they did a little Yankee Stadium chant. Pretty cool.
Yeah, it is real cool. I like that.
But she liked it too.
I told you the crowd is into it tonight.
You were right.
They're loving this.
They've been into it for 3 straight games here. I mean, it's like the pennant fever.
It's taking hold again.
Yeah, it's especially this series. It seems like it was a big sweep of the Rockies, of course, but now the team that is, of course, the highest payroll team in baseball, the Dodgers, as Herring is retired easily. Speaking of fans, you should be a part of this scene here at PNC Park. Have some fun with a summer 6-pack. Choose 6 Pirate games throughout the summer. Guarantee your seats for sold-out games. Packages start as low as $96 each. To get your summer 6-pack, go to pirates.com/summer. Having a good time at PNC Park, and now D. Gordon. Commissioner Bud Selig talked about that yesterday, about the resurgence of baseball in Pittsburgh, the renaissance, and how he had chills watching the wild card game October 1st last year. He wasn't the only one that had chills.
No, that was just a tremendous evening here, and I do have to say that I'm pretty big traditionalist, as I've said before, when it comes to baseball. But that one game playoff where you create the 7th game atmosphere, that was quite a move by Major League Baseball to do that with the 2 wild card teams. Yeah. I think that was great. It really starts the playoff season off kind of on an exciting foot, and in both leagues. get that one game.
Winner take all.
Let's go, yeah.
You lose your
one night.
And that's the incentive of trying to win the division. Because you don't have to worry about just a one-game elimination.
Yeah, really, they were able to kill two birds with one stone there. They got that excitement going for that one game. Plus, you know, in the past, you would see two teams going down to the end, and they really wouldn't be that big of a deal to them which team won the division, which team got the wild card. What would be maybe more important is setting their starting rotation up. Well, now there's something more to think about.
On to first, getting the speedy D. Gordon.
Nice quick release, accurate throw.
There's Matt Kemp. 4-pitch walk from Liriano in the first inning. Well, how big, Bob, is Liriano to this rotation and to the rest of this season if he gets back to 2013 form?
Now there's probably 3 or 4 players that you can kind of like say, okay, this guy, if he could do this, that. Liriano is one of those 3 or 4 players. And you're right, Greg, that if he was a Cy Young type pitcher last year, I mean, that's the form he had. You look at his stats when he was out there. An impact top of the rotation pitcher would do so much for the Pirates right now going down the stretch, and he certainly has proven last year that he can be that guy. All the pitchers, all the starters are really doing a fine job right now. Very consistent. Had a good solid start last night. Maybe didn't play a great defense behind Worley, but he didn't seem to mind. He always just pounds that strike zone. Hey, let's go if there's something happening. Great attitude. I love this style of pitching.
In the air to right. Polanco puts it away. And 1, 2, 3 go the Dodgers. Pirates lead 5-0.
Break in Milwaukee, the Reds and the Brewers, bottom of the 8th. It is 4-1 Milwaukee when Mark Reynolds hits his 16th home run of the year, his second of the game off Jumbo Diaz. Milwaukee wins 5-1, and Greg and Bob, they wind up sweeping the series over the Reds.
So, Rob, maybe the Brewers have started to right their ship while all of a sudden the Reds are reeling, losing 6 in a row. They've lost 8 of their last 11. They now fall 5.5 back of the Brewers. Pirates need a win to stay 2.5 back. Look at the current standings. Kyle Loesch beat Mike Leake today. St. Louis trailing early to Tampa Bay in that interleague game at Busch, 1-0. Lance Lynn on the mound against Alex Cobb. Adam Wainwright gave up some runs last night to the red-hot Tampa Bay Rays. Looking to win their 7th straight. And a nice stop by the shortstop, Rojas. Oh, what a play! What a play by Miguel Rojas.
Man, two-parter. Yeah, the stop was pretty impressive. Just getting to that ball, and then to get up and be able to get any kind of a throw off. I had to make a little adjustment there. You can see on the Supermo, he thought that ball was going to stay down. It came up on him, and a quick reaction. He was able to adjust, bring that glove up to meet it, and did all that as he's diving flat out to his backhand. Impressive play.
Fouled off into the Dodger dugout. Josh Beckett last night went just 3 2/3 innings. 4 runs, 6 hits. First start off the disabled list. Talking with Andre Ethier there in the dugout. Now it's 1-1 on Ike Davis. 6 out of 15 this season against the Dodgers, including 2 of his 6 homers. Hoping that he will find the power stroke here in the last 2+ months of the regular season. Tweets across the bottom of your screen about the Pirates offense. Two and 2 on Davis.
Guys can't wait to get up there.
Now full count.
Davis showing that patience again. Getting all excited. He will see probably as many pitches as anybody in that lineup. Saw one too many. That ball cut a little bit, didn't it?
Yep.
Start off the plate. It snuck in over the corner. No argument. I'm sure he wasn't happy with the call, but good look to be on the edge.
Josh Harrison ripped that double down the line and left, scoring a couple. Now 31 RBIs for Josh Harrison. Two and 1. Dan Herron 8 and 7 on the year. You see the pitch count. He wants to do better than that. Not unfamiliar to Pirates hitters. This is his 10th career start against the Bucks. He's 3 and 2 lifetime with an ERA just under 5. Hit hard again, but at the shortstop, and this a little drop. But Rojas recovers and throws out Harrison. Still 5-0. Pirates through 3.
The Pirates have a 5-0 lead as we move to the fourth. Due up second in this inning is the son of Andy Van Slyke, as we mentioned earlier, Scott Van Slyke. And at 6'5", 220, he's a big boy. But not too long ago, he wasn't so big. Like in 1990 when he was just 4. A little guy that used to come to Three River Stadium with Pops all the time. Now, little did he know, Andy, or maybe he did, that Scott would follow in his footsteps with much bigger feet at 6'5", 220. And Greg, by the way, despite the flub that you made earlier, I still love you, man.
Oh, thank you,
You
Dan.
and me against the world, brother.
Well, see, it was not a flub. I mean, I've gone to the Bob Walk School of Excuses, and as I said, I accidentally hit the cough button. I mean, that's not a big deal.
Yep, gotcha.
But thank you for that.
You're my hero.
Back with the love there, Dan. And now Adrian Gonzalez.
Went next door to get coffee, and I had to explain to Steve about your on-air guy.
Did you? Well, it's good because you missed it. As you were away, Dan just pointed out. Potash. Anybody else just want to tweet it?
I got it.
No, do me a favor. Let's tweet. Let's get AT&T fan photos and talk about it.
Steve thought it was hysterical.
I bet he did. Well, Steve thought it was funny because why? Why was it funny to Steve?
It's just funny.
Oh,
you'd laugh.
He was good friends with Kennesaw Mountain Landis. Why was he laughing about Bowie Kuhn? This ball flies to left. And Snyder. Speaking of our AT&T fan photo of the day, submit a picture via Twitter. Use the hashtag BucksFanPhoto. We'll show them during our broadcast how you root for your Buccos. The AT&T fan photo.
Have we had a black and white photo yet this year?
I think we have.
Yeah, okay. But you don't know. You're just throwing that out. But we might have.
No, I really think we had. I think actually we did. April 17th. I remember it. I remember it very well. It was from a gentleman, Dave Herlihy, Center Township, Pennsylvania.
Oh, yeah. I remember now. I was on with you that day.
Yep. Here is Scott Van Slyke. And he is retired. Well, how do you like Liriano at this point now? After a couple of those back-to-back walks in the first inning.
Yeah, that kind of had you wondering there for a while what was going on. But since then, absolutely terrific. We're popping the ball in there with good velocity numbers. And he's getting some swings and misses on that slider, and he's getting some swings and misses on balls that aren't necessarily out of the strike zone.
Broken bat roller to short. On to first. How about Cisco? 7 pitches. 5-0 Pirates. This day, 1991. Buccos beat the Braves 12-3 at Three Rivers. Bobby Bonilla homered. Gary Reyes hit a grand slam. And in his 5th career game, John Wayner goes 5 for 5, scores 3 runs, becomes the first Pirate rookie to have a 5-hit game since Richie Zisk. How about that?
That was his longest hit right there.
You know, you could tell right then and there that John is a guy that, well, what, he had a cannon for an arm, could run like a deer.
Run like a deer.
You could just tell right away, couldn't you?
Oh, absolutely.
Blessed with that power. On this date in 1991.
You know, on this date, 1974, something happened here in Pittsburgh.
All-Star game.
Yeah. Dodgers, Steve Garvey was.
He's a write-in guy, wasn't he?
Yeah, he won the MVP of that All-Star game.
Yep.
I can remember the shot of Bowie Kuhn giving him his trophy.
Ground ball 5-3. I'll do the sound effects unless Ricky can provide them with us. We got David Letterman up here. And Jeff Bannister also on this day had that first at bat, only at bat in the big leagues, Dan Petrie, and he hits the infield single. He's one and only at bat in the big leagues forever, batting 1,000.
Always be perfect.
Yep. Liriano takes a strike. One and one on Francisco Liriano. He lined out to right field in the first inning.
Every now and again, he'll really put on a big show of power in those pitcher BPs real early in the day. I've seen him launch many balls over those stands out in right field. He's got a ton of power.
Still 1-2. His mound opponent. Third strikeout for Dan Herron. Now you can save big when you use your Giant Eagle Advantage card and save up to $10 off tickets every Sunday home game. Show your Giant Eagle Advantage card at the PNC Park ticket window or go to pirates.com/advantage card. Take advantage of those great discounts. Now, the Pirates will be on the road for a while. Your next opportunity to use that advantage card on a Sunday home game here at PNC Park will be August the 10th when the Pirates host the Padres. Their next homestand will be Tuesday night, August the 5th. 3 against the Marlins. Giancarlo Stanton, Garrett Jones, Casey McGee come to town for 3. Then the Padres for that weekend series, and then that home and home series against the Tigers, interleague play. Detroit in Monday night, August the 11th. Or 2-gamer.
Do you use your regular full-size card, or do you have like one of the little mini cards on the keychain?
Full
you go full size?
Yeah.
I got a mini card on the keychain.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Got the full size. Polanco has singled and grounded out. Lines is foul. Into the seats. Hit it hard. And Polanco. First 2.5 weeks. So natural. Was getting all those hits. Walking. Not striking out much. And then, as Clint Hurdle often says, the league punched back, and Polanco went through a tough stretch, especially against lefties. Now 3-2. Slowly but surely, you're starting to see fewer strikeouts, deeper into counts. Last night, a home run, the opposite field 2-run single, then a walk. And he strikes out looking. 1, 2, 3. Go the Buccos for the second straight inning, but they're off to a 5-0 lead through 4. Simulated game for Garrett Cole. Our Allegheny Health Network injury update. Cole on the disabled list. And he was in a much better frame of mind after this outing today. Looked very sharp. The video doesn't necessarily show that, but believe me,
right?
talking to Garrett Cole.
Looked like he was in a great frame
I know,
of
but he
mind.
really was.
There we go. A little fist bump.
And actually, we really don't like to see Garrett Cole in a great frame of mind.
No,
he's way better when he's surly.
Yeah, that's kind of his MO when he's out on that mound.
A little stab at it there from Liriano. Instead, Harrison picks it up to retire Crawford. Let's go down to Dan Potash with more.
You know, guys, Cole did not make a rehab start after his first trip to DL, but now knows that that is the route to go after this injury.
I can't come out not sharp and give games away and just, put us in a hole like I did against the Mets. So it's important to, come back and give quality starts no matter how many there are. If it takes longer, so be it. But it's about winning ball games at this point, and, with this division and with the opponents that we have, it's going to come down to the wire.
Through 70 pitches, through all his stuff, and again, as you heard him say, however long it takes with the rehab starts, he wants to make sure that he's where he needs to be, since we are moving into August, guys.
This ball lined toward left field, and Snyder tries to make the catch. There's the first hit of the ball game. It's Miguel Rojas who delivers the first hit for the Dodgers. All-out effort by Snyder. Try and save the no-hit bid.
Everybody always knows what's going on when this sort of thing is happening. The fielders, they have a little, extra going on out there, and you can see here with this play that Snyder was doing his absolute best. You see the reaction when he didn't come up with it. He slammed his glove into the ground. They all want to be a part of one of those special type games, and just couldn't quite make the catch.
Miguel Rojas, a rookie infielder. It's the first hit. Here is Drew Butera. Liriano struck him out in the second.
So Some awfully good control. He gets ahead with the slider. Just kind of threw it for a strike. And Russell Martin wants a fastball in the inside corner, kind of maybe trying to set up something for later in the batted way, and he puts the ball right there, 93. Very good control. And that's 2 strikes. It's an 0-2 pitch. You want it to bounce, breaking ball. See if you can maybe a check swing and a strike 3. Very impressive to this point. Just 2 hitters in that first inning I didn't like. It's 2 walks.
Two balls, 2 strikes against his former battery mate with the Twins.
They let a changeup get away from him now.
Full count. Butera had a long at bat against Liriano in the second before the Pirate lefty struck out Butera. Oh, the catch by Mercer. That's 2.
And that's embarrassing for Rojas. At any time, especially down by 5.
Mercer going up to get it. Top half ended with stellar play by Jordy Mercer. Perfect timing, as high as he could go.
There goes Rojas thinking it's a base hit. He didn't wait for it to get through the infield, and he is easy pickings. Goes for freeze on a line drive, and he was on his way to third. So
a rookie mistake.
Yeah.
Once it was caught by Mercer, it was easy because Rojas had taken off. Here's Travis Snyder. He crushed his 5th home run of the season, almost out of the ballpark.
The rookie mistake is going to the wrong hotel after the game.
That's right.
Not running on a line drive with 1 out and down by 5, or 1 out in any time. They teach that. I think they teach that like in high school, don't they?
I don't know, but so many of these fundamentals, you hear the excuse, rookie mistake. silly. Snyder went the other way with his hit in the first and then pulled that home run over the right field wall in the second. That's out of play off to the left. Here is his second inning homer. Absolute no doubter. Travis Snyder. Snyder, a first-round pick of the Toronto Blue Jays back in 2006. It's this one on the line to center. Scott Van Slyke right there. One down. A couple of hits tonight for Snyder. McCutchen 0 for 2 tonight, despite lining out sharply to the third baseman Uribe in the first. He grounded out to the Dodger third baseman his last inning. Last at bat in the second inning, that is. He was 2 for 9 in the series. Puig out of the lineup once again. 3 straight. Pirates really have gotten some breaks in the last 6 games, and they've taken advantage. They swept the Rockies, and the Rockies were without Justin Morneau and for a while Tulowitzki, who was placed on the DL yesterday. And here not only Puig and Hanley Ramirez out, but they miss Greinke and they miss Kershaw. One and 2. Yasiel Puig. Hopes to avoid the DL at bruised hand. Did he go? Yes, he did. Says Las Diaz. McCutchen not in agreement. 5 Ks.
That's what I'd like to at least ask, get a second opinion. Law saying they need a second opinion. Actually, you look at this the strike zone down in the corner. Oh, it just might have been a strike anyway. Pretty good pitch.
Well, 10 straight retired by Dan Herron. Series Pirates pitching coach and the head athletic trainer Todd Thompson.
You always get nervous when you see the trainer and the pitching coach having a discussion. 5th inning. Could be nothing.
Stays 1 and 2 on Walker. Not as if we have seen Liriano talking to Todd Tomczyk, so might not even involve Liriano.
Yeah, Ray might be telling me that he thinks he's getting a cold. Got anything for me I can take home tonight and help me sleep? You know what it could be. Those kind of conversations go on. Coughing all night. You got anything that can help me get to sleep tonight?
Oh, Dan Herron is on a roll. Now the Pirates lead it 5-0. And up to Liriano to keep pitching well. 5-zip.
Ball on Root Sports is brought to you by Angry Orchard Hard Cider. Branch out. By Barrel Automotive. We're driven to be better. And by Levin Mattress. Located in all Levin furniture showrooms and freestanding stores. Let's go Bucks!
Well, this happened just moments ago. Cheese Chester in the pierogi race. Looks like he's turning around to taunt the opposition.
He stepped awkwardly is what happened and went down. And you could see he's in tremendous pain.
Looks
Greg.
like a knee. And what's interesting, Bob, I've never seen the physician on hand here before, but she was right there.
Yep.
And then they get the cart out immediately.
They're taking him right to the hospital, I'm sure.
Wow.
That looked dangerous. And I'll tell you what, he never looked better. I mean, he was having a great race, big lead, and he turned around.
What was that?
I don't know if he was taunting Greg or just looking to see, how big the lead was. Could he slow down? But he definitely, I think, caught a cleat or something.
Looked like he ripped up his knee.
There it went.
But he's giving the thumbs up, which I know. And you see the doctor there holding the leg up,
It
stabilizing
doesn't look good,
the leg.
I mean,
I don't know.
Obviously, he was in pain.
Look,
But
there's smiles there. They don't seem too concerned. The thumbs up. Fly ball to center field. Justin Turner, the pinch hitter for Herron, singles to center. Justin Turner leads off the sixth with a base hit. Jamie Wright gets ready. It was just pointed out to us from someone in the trailer. I didn't realize it, but that physician came out there with a stethoscope, and it was a knee injury.
Well, Greg, pierogies have their heart in their legs.
Oh, of course.
They have two hearts, one in each leg.
D. Gordon goes the other way. And it's a fair ball. Nice job by Snyder to get to it quickly, but a double moving Turner to third with nobody out.
Pretty much down the middle, upstairs. Able to sneak it in just that side of the chalk.
Left-handed hitters were just 0 for 4 against Liriano before the double by Gordon. We talked about that earlier. This ball gets away from Snyder. D. Gordon might come all the way around.
Snyder's done a nice job cutting some balls off in the outfield the last couple of days, couple of nights. Made sure he got to that one before it hit the outfield fence. That angle that the outfield fence is, if it hits that, it could just go scooting right around. It's at the pierogi. It's that cheese up there.
Oh, big. Ground ball, the shortstop. Mercer throws out Kemp, run scores, and the Dodgers are on the board.
Are you surprised that D. Gordon, with all
Very
that
surprised.
speed, does
He's
not
still at
move
second.
to third base on that
A
one?
slowly hit ground ball.
Be there with one out right now. Infield would still be back, and they would be in a great spot to maybe score another run and get a little bit closer. But I mean, there's no way that D. Gordon cannot move to third base on that ball with his speed. And there would be no way with a 5-run lead would Mercer take a chance on throwing to third base. Every time he's going to get that sure out at first base.
That is very surprising. See if the Pirates can take advantage of that fact. And Gordon is still at second. One ball and one strike to count. 2-1 on Gonzalez. Walked in the first, flied out to left in the fourth inning. Three hits now for the Dodgers, including back-to-back leadoff hits here in the sixth. Gonzalez has been a very tough out in this series. He has looked locked in. That's this one toward left center field. McCutchen will make the catch. Now 2 outs.
If D. Gordon would have moved up on that ground ball like he was supposed to, it'd be a 5-2 ball game. But to this point, still 5-1 because of the poor base running.
Scott Van Slyke will come to the plate. Gordon at third. We have a tweet here. Does Cheese Chester's move to the DL indicate a return to Potato Pete? Well, first of all, I think we're jumping ahead of ourselves. We don't know that Chester is going to go on the DL.
I have no idea.
I mean, you know, at first glance, yeah, it looks bad, but you know, the things they can do for pierogies these days is amazing.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see him back out there. It'd be just fine. But you don't know. We'll have to wait to see what the MRI says.
Next homestand against the Marlins starts Tuesday night, August the 5th. Kiyoshi Mimosa and Ben Potenziano in the Pirates dugout. I'm sure they will be looking at Cheese Chester. Get him back to full health. 2-0 on Van Slyke. His dad was traded to the Pirates April Fool's Day 1987 from the Cardinals. 2-2.
Along with Mike Dunn, Mike LaValliere.
Buck sent Tony Pena to St. Louis. Now look at
great changeup, huh? Beautiful.
2-2 the count. And strikes him out looking. The Dodgers get one. Moments for the first half. Relive Andrew McCutchen's MVP presentation, Polanco's Major League debut, Harrison's big day in New York, and much more. Best of Inside Pirates Baseball presented by Allegheny Health Network tonight after postgame on Root Sports. A 5-1 ball game going to the bottom of the sixth. Jamie Wright who pitched 2 innings last night and is already greeted by fans here because they know it was he who hit Andrew McCutchen in the 6th inning last night. Wasn't that wild though, Bob? After, I mean, it was the reaction of the fans after this took place and after Wilson got thrown out. This is the scene. Now first base was open and then 2 pitches into Wilson's outing. The first one missed Turner. That one got him, and Clint Hurdle, basically he's saying, you know, your job is to ump at first, second, or third, so it looked, and not question whether that intent on Wilson's part was to hit the batter. Hurdle's argument is, or at least he asks, about how first base was open when McCutchen was hit by the pitch. The Pirates had just scored a couple of runs, starting to run away with it. Second and third, 2 outs, and they come up and in on McCutchen. 1 ball, 1 strike now on Martin. Martin hit by pitches twice last night. In fact, he now leads the league, having been hit 13 times.
Everything kind of went the way it was supposed to. Obviously, you didn't want to see Wilson thrown out of the game, but that will happen occasionally, so you had to be prepared for it. And the Pirates made their statement. They're not going to take something like that without returning the compliment.
Into right, and Russell Martin has himself another hit, and he was thinking about 2, and then he spins out and gets back to first.
Right about there, he's thinking, okay, I think I might do it. No, I'm going to just practice my slide. You know, and that's exactly what a slide was invented for, to stop. They used it to come to a stop. Good use of a slide there. You agree, Greg?
Absolutely. Martin bluffed like he was going to take off and then shut it down.
Always full of energy. Loves to play the game. Beard's coming in very nicely. Did you see it the other night when it was up full of sunflower seeds? I didn't like that look. Kind of bothered me.
Bothers you?
Yeah, it's just...
Does that bother you?
No, they're don't sunflower seeds in those beards. If you leave them there, you get birds coming and pecking at you and stuff. You wouldn't want that, would you, Greg?
No. Martin, by the way, has stolen 3 bases, caught 4 times. Mike Davis, a sacrifice fly the other way in the first inning, struck out looking his last time up. And this little soft liner to the shortstop, and now Rojas maybe still upset with himself. Would like to double off somebody on the other team.
Well, even if he would have caught Martin, that would have been a little bit of a different scenario there. That was almost kind of a pop fly. Martin's got to come off there a little ways, just in case Rojas decides to trap that ball. He's got to be able to beat a throw into second. You never know. You got to go as far off the bag as you can and still be able to get back if that ball is caught. And Martin, it was out to exactly that point as that ball was handled by Rojas.
Up and into Harrison.
Those are the fans.
Right through 31 pitches last night, by the way, in 2 innings. Gave up a couple of runs. Josh Harrison was the first batter he faced in the 4-run 6th inning. Harrison bunted Russell Martin and Ike Davis up 90 feet.
I think it was that reaction of the fans, Greg, with all the booing that gave it a little bit of a postseason type feel, or a pennant race feel last night.
Yep.
I mean, the booing just went on and on.
It was, and we talked about it on the radio side last night, that it was similar to, in a way, the taunting of Cueto.
Mm-hmm.
It was the booing, but it was, I think, almost playful booing. Whacked by that foul ball, Drew Butera. Harrison, a first inning double, and scored Walker and Martin. Bounced to short in the 3rd inning. Dan Herron went 5. Gave up the 5 runs. Pirates collected 4 hits off of Herron. There's a line drive base hit into left field, and Harrison is 2 for 3.
Hey, heading to count, you throw that breaking ball, you can't leave it on the inside half the plate. You got to get it down and away. And it just did not get away. It was just right on the, right in the middle, the inside half of the plate. That's kind of a perfect spot. Just dropped the head of the bat to that
curveball. 2 aboard for Jordy Mercer, as Don Mattingly has had to go to his bullpen early once again, with Beckett only going 3 2/3 last night. Herron only 5 innings tonight. Van Herron, by the way, has gone less than 6 innings, 6 of his last 8 starts. Snap throw towards second. Makes 7 of last 9 starts. They went under 6 innings.
That's not a good trend. Mattingly can't be happy with that. That's something to really will tax that bullpen. Occasionally that's fine, but not that consistent.
One of the reasons why they say that the Dodgers are out looking for starting pitching, and that they might have been interested in David Price, though the way the Rays are currently playing, they might not be willing to give up David Price. Bounce to Uribe. Turns it into a double play. 5-3 DP. Pirates lead 5-1. AT&T fan photo, and keep them coming. Use the hashtag BucksFanPhoto. That's pretty cool. You wondered about the black and white photos. Have we gotten any in the past?
Well, you gotta like that
Marissa
one.
Miller, yeah, in color with the Jolly Roger rag, and here at PNC Park, a neat look. So that's good stuff. We got bad news from the scoreboard crew here. That was announced moments ago on the sports headline.
What we feared right there.
Yeah, that's exactly what we said was going to happen. Cheese Chester to the 15-day DL. And Potato Pete is going to return August 5th and run in his first pierogi race since 2001. Has it been that long?
I'll tell you what, it's going to be a tough deal for him to come back after that long of a layoff. But
so August 5th, the Pirates take on the Marlins.
I admire the fact that he's going to give it a go anyway.
Line drive, base hit for Uribe. His fourth hit of the series. Uribe keeps on ticking, and now checking in with the bullpen.
"17 pitches away from 100. So it's one of those. 100 is the magic number. This is the point. I think just about every game, every manager, when you get past 80 with your starter, you start to make those contingency plans of, okay, who am I going to go to? Where do I think I'm going to be at in their lineup at 100 pitches?
Line out to Jay Hay. Drawn in. Crawford lines out to third.
Good job by Uribe. Able to freeze and get back, and this was a little tough because it was a hard hit ball, but at the same time, on the grass, Uribe had to quickly throw on the brakes and scramble back. Didn't really freeze, did he?
Not really.
It was more kind of like a slushy. It still was moving around.
By the way, at the bottom of your screen, the get well wishes for Cheese Chester.
Potato dumplings aren't supposed to bend like that. Like that was my favorite so far. Well, we just gotta hope that he'll make it back before the end of the season.
Stick a fork in him. He's done. And he even gave the thumbs up.
I wish I would have had that line earlier during the race.
Yeah. Two and one. Double barrel action. Hughes and Wilson. Rojas. A double in the fifth inning past diving left fielder Travis Snyder. Was the first hit of the game off of Liriano with one out of the fifth. Starting to get some pitches up here.
Are they ready? Yep, they are.
And they're making sure, because if he loses Rojas, probably going to be it. How about a ground ball right now at an infielder? Wouldn't that be special? Give him 7. It's a strike. Three balls, 2 strikes. Ground ball, but not a double play ball. Harrison will get 1. And that will probably keep Liriano in the game. At least for another batter. Get to the game early every Friday and Saturday home game. A block party takes place out on Federal Street. It features food and drink specials, plus music and alumni appearances from former Bucco players. Start the party early with block parties on Federal Street. For tickets, go to Pirates.com. Every Friday and Saturday home game. And we've been talking a lot about the next homestand. Make your plans. The Pirates hit the road for 10 after tonight. Go to Pirates.com, and next Friday night game will be against the Padres, August the 8th. The next game, Tuesday night, August the 5th, against Milwaukee, the Miami Marlins. Tributera takes a strike. We're wondering about that lefty batters against Liriano, who practically owned them all of last year. Before he went on the DL, most recently, they were hitting .321 against him. But over his last 3 starts, they're batting just .188. Snap throw to first. Yasiel Puig to pinch hit. Pitcher spot on deck. Ground ball left side. Harrison cuts it off, throws to second, and that'll do it. Francisco Liriano due up first in the bottom of the 7th inning, so likely done for the night. And if so, 7 strong innings, allowing just the 1 run. Very encouraging sign tonight from Francisco Liriano. And now, take me out to the ball game.
Watching at home on Root Sports as we sing Take Me Out to the Ball Game.
Great images from the Allegheny Health Network Supermo. Pirates leading, going to the bottom of the 7th inning, 5-1. Paul Mahalem suffered the loss last night. Will come on to pitch. Francisco Liriano completes his night. And what'd you think, Bob?
Outstanding. This is one of the best starts I think we've seen Francisco have this year, as far as the combination of the control, the stuff, velocity was there, the sharpness of that slider. He was getting swings and misses, not just the chases like he normally does. But we saw some swings and misses of balls that were actually in the heart of the strike zone. So those pitches had some good character to it. An outstanding start. That was the Francisco Liriano of last year. If that's what you're going to get these last couple of months going down the stretch, wow, look out, rest of the division. That was some great stuff.
Brent Morel bats for him. Morel came up from Indy to replace Starling Marte, who's out for a week with concussion-like symptoms, that concussion DL for 7 days. So Morel, who had one at bat earlier in the season and was hitting .246 at AAA Indy, faces Mahalam. Take a look. The move today. Most feel pretty confident that Marte will just need the 7. And Morel, a line drive base hit into left field. Brent Morel singles to left.
This was not just something that he fisted out there either. He definitely put the head of the bat on that one. An off-speed pitch, belt high down the middle, and that's the way you're supposed to hit those. Wow.
Morel, former Chicago White Sox player, was acquired during spring training, so he gets his first Pirate hit. And now Gregory Polanco tries to bunt for a hit. One of the things the Pirates have been talking to him about, in addition to some mechanical adjustments and trying to get back to what he was doing at AAA, is also, don't forget about the bunt being a weapon. Double play ball. Right to Gordon, on to Rojas, and to Gonzalez.
Very firm. That's kind of what you need if you're going to double up Polanco. You're going to hit it hard like that.
Mahalam faces Snyder. Mahalam last night suffered the loss. He retired the first 4 Pirates on ground ball outs, including Polanco. He got Snyder to bounce out. McCutchen grounded out. Walker. Then he gave up back-to-back leadoff singles in the 6th. And anything close, fans will certainly react. Wilson going to give it another go.
She got a fairly good hand.
I think so, yeah.
Anxious to hear what happens when his name is announced. You know, the way he went out there and took care of business immediately, didn't wait around. Now that's the kind of stuff too that gets you a lot of respect from your teammates.
Certainly from Andrew McCutchen.
You got to protect everybody, especially that guy. Can't have people taking shots at your MVP.
Do you think it would have mattered had Wilson hit him on the first pitch?
No.
Still would have been tossed.
It shouldn't have mattered. I'll say that. Shouldn't have made any difference.
Justin Turner, the man that got hit on that protective elbow guard. And Mahalam walks Snyder. So he'll have to face McCutchen. MLB.TV Premium, the #1 live streaming sports service celebrating 12 years. Join the millions of subscribers. Watch every out-of-market game live in true HD and over 400 devices. Visit Pirates.com for details. McCutchen bounces one foul. And Uribe, man, he is an underrated defensive third baseman, Juan Uribe. Even though that was a foul ball.
He thought it was a fair ball.
.997 fielding percentage in his career. He's played a number of different positions throughout his big league career. Juan Uribe, now at the age of 35. McCutchen has lined out to Uribe and grounded out to him. Toward right center field, a long way toward the wall, off the wall. McCutchen into second base. Snyder being waved home, and he will score on the double by Andrew McCutchen. Off the wall in right center.
Paul Maholm was being very careful with Snyder up there. Drew Snyder a 3-2 curveball, taking a chance of walking him and bringing McCutchen up. Well, McCutchen made him pay. Needed about another 4 feet for a home run.
This will be McCutchen's 29th double. It's tied for third in the league. He's going to drive in Snyder, his 63rd ribby of the season. That's 3 back of the league leaders in Carlos Stanton. 2 back of Paul Goldschmidt of the Diamondbacks and the Dodgers. Adrian Gonzalez, the RBI lead. He came in second in on-base percentage, third in slugging. That's 51 extra base hits, second in the league behind Goldschmidt. Walker grounded out to second last night against Maholm. Ground out again to D. Gordon. But Andrew McCutchen drives in a run to make it 6-1.
Here with the All-Star, Josh Harrison.
And joined Josh Harrison in Minneapolis along with Kutch and Tony Watson, taking behind the scenes of the Buccos All-Star experience. See how Jay Hayes spent his free time, the red carpet arrival, the guys mic'd up in batting practice, and much more. Inside Pirates Baseball, Twin City Trio debuts Monday at 9 on Root Sports. McCutcheon went into his announcer voice there, didn't he?
Yeah, he definitely did. I didn't know he had one. I know what he's going to be doing in another 15 years. 20.
Justin Wilson will be facing Yasiel Puig, who's going to pinch hit. Liriano, 7 innings, 1 run, 4 hits, couple of walks, struck out 4. Yasiel Puig, one of the starting outfielders, along with Andrew McCutcheon. Hit by the pitch on Saturday in St. Louis. Left in the 8th inning. Hit on the left hand by a Joe Kelly pitch in the 3rd inning, but stayed in the game for a while. Yasiel Puig came up last year, and it seemed like his arrival brought a revival to the Los Angeles Dodgers. They took off.
And they had all those big names, but none of them were really doing much. Puig definitely brought some life to that team. It was a Puig highlight almost every night. It was a throw, a catch, something he was doing with the bat.
They went 69 and 38 after he was promoted from Double-A June the 3rd. Last year, the Dodgers became the 4th team in the divisional era, going back to 1969, to win a division title during the same year. They were at least 12 games under 500 at one point. And he walks to start things off. Let's go downstairs to Dan Potash with more news.
Yeah, guys, we do have some sad news in case we have some fans joining us late. During tonight's pierogi race, as you could see, Cheese Chester going down in pain, was helped off the field. We know that he's on the 15-day disabled list, but I'm going to have to borrow a page from my hockey book and go with it's a lower body injury because they're not specifying exactly what's wrong. Potato Pete will make an appearance in his place at PNC Park on the next homestand in August. He has not done so since 2001. Cheese Chester and Potato Pete are now trending nationwide on the Twitter sphere. I'm not exactly sure how fans can show their support. Maybe you either eat more or eat fewer pierogies. You tell me.
That's a good question. I thought about that. How do you show your support of a pierogi? Do you eat more or less?
Yeah.
Eat more. You got to eat more.
Okay. We wish him well, though.
Yep, absolutely.
Maybe a moment of silence before you take a bite.
That's an idea. Just pause for a second.
There you go. Then shout out.
Yeah. Potato Pete leaves, and that means
Cheese will still be watching the games every night. You know that.
That's right. I don't think he'll be rooting for Pete. I don't think they got along very well, but
if I remember right, Pete didn't get along with anybody.
No. You know, there was some controversy why he left, and it might have been the reason. The commissioner at the time. And a line drive to Harrison, and almost turned it into 2.
Done a lot of that tonight.
Here comes Clint Hurdle.
We might have a challenge.
Get his hand in there?
I don't know. He went back two-handed. you notice that?
This is the not sure. Whatever you want to do, go ahead. Not definitive, but
yeah,
Jeff Bannister says worth it a try.
Late in the game, 6-1. Yeah. Why not go ahead and take a look? Well, they got to call that one safe. What do you think?
Yeah. Certainly nothing that we have seen that would indicate
what
clear
we've
and
really
convincing.
found out after the first couple of months, that if you go with the call on the field, that's what it's going to be most of the time, unless you can really see where they can almost have a frame where you just stop it and you can see the call was wrong. If you can't do that, they're going to go with what the umpire's call was on the field. Rightfully so.
Very close. Back command center.
Taking a while. That's a good sign. Sometimes when you have these longer looks, it means that it will be overturned. Do you see anything there that you still think that it was a?
I don't see anything that would reverse it.
Would overturn it?
Another look here. As you said, he went in with both hands, but he went in with both hands with the fingers up and back, as if his palm was the first thing to go. So he's safe. The call stands. Bucks lose their one challenge. And now Matt Kemp.
Does every team use the thumb up, sideways, and down?
I think so.
Kind of like one's fastball, two's curve. Everyone does it.
Well, they say the time of that delay was 2:06, but I think that's when they start the clock when the umpires put the headset on. They don't count the manager walking out of the dugout and going out and talking to the umpire, delaying until he sees the call from his bench coach. 1 ball, 1 strike on Kemp.
Do you think there's ever a time, Greg, where the side thumb could get confused with, they say, the down thumb? You know, looking into the dark dugout from the other side of the infield.
Dark dugout. Oh.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just wondering if there's a better sign you could use.
What would you use?
I don't know. I just throwing it out for thought.
How about just like, nah, no chance.
We're going
wouldn't confuse
come
that.
up with different signs. Let's just play around. You got to do that for next home game. Come up with a sign.
Next home game, I'm going to be worried about Potato Pete.
How about an actual, you know, how a set of cards, red, green, and yellow?
Well, just a sign that says yes and no.
Oh, well, yeah, but there's the middle one.
Yeah, that which, if you don't put a sign up, it means that's the middle.
Yes, no, or maybe.
No, yes or no. You got one card and you flip it. One side says yes, the other side says no. And if you don't use it, you don't put the card up, it means maybe.
I like a red card, a green card, and a yellow card.
Why do you get so confused? You can't make it simple.
That is simple.
I'm old school.
Yellow is a maybe. Green is yes, go. Red, no. Come back in. It'd be that simple as you could be.
A big placard that says yes and no. I think I might present that with to Jeff Bannister for the next homestand.
How about every dugout in the league is equipped with a light system with buttons? So you look in, you see a red light, green light, yellow light.
Nope.
I know where you could get some of those lights too.
Get confusing in that dark dugout. Three and two the count. What do you do if it's bright sunshine, day game?
You can't see lights in day.
It's not as easy.
The sun is. What do you do when you get to an intersection?
Come on, now you know when the sun is shining on that scoreboard, you know how difficult that can be to see. And he walked him. Very simple, Bob. Here's the answer. We'll give this to Jeff Bannister for the or. Here you go. See? Very simple. Why do you got to make it so difficult?
I don't like that.
There's some signals on the golf tower. That means we're okay weather-wise. It's going to be sunny tomorrow.
Now that would be cool because you could keep your back to the dugout as you're arguing with the umpire.
You looked up at the golf tower and let them decide. That'd be cool.
That'd be really good.
Ray Searage. Revisit a couple of walks here.
Now they have a light that goes off in hockey when you score a goal, right?
Right.
What if it was just somebody sitting behind there with puts a thumbs up? That wouldn't be good, would it? The light system is, I think, the best way to go. Yeah, you could get creative with the light. Could be like a banner light runs along the edge of the dugout.
This could be two. That's pretty simple. No lights, no signs, just a double play.
and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Nissan Road ahead. Pirates will take on the Colorado Rockies at Coors Field in Denver on Friday night to start a 3-game series. Charlie Morton against Brett Anderson. Tyler Matzik will face Jeff Locke. The second game of that series, and the Rockies have yet to announce who will start against Edinson Volquez on Sunday. So again, Pirates saw 4 straight lefties. It's homestand, and they'll see back-to-back lefties. It should be big news in LA as Yasiel Puig has taken over in center. Scott Van Slyke moves to right. And a man who had all kinds of control problems last night, he's right back out there. Don Mattingly goes to Chris Perez. Perez retired the first man in the bottom of the 8th inning and then walked the next 4 in a row. That was it for him.
Greg, remember, there's another thing we were thinking about naming. I don't know how many weeks back it was, but talking about complete games and how rare they are. That 7-inning starts like tonight from Lariano almost deserve a name. They don't have anything instead of a complete game. What do you think about this? A solid 7.
I like it. I like the solid 7.
Bob Tattern sent me an email, suggested that, said that that would be something to consider, and I like it too. You know, you can say somebody had 8 consecutive quality starts, and 4 of those were solid 7s.
A solid hit to right for Russell Martin. His second hit on base for the 3rd time.
I think we need to give that a try out.
Yep.
You know, a solid 7. Bob, we're going to do it for a while. See if it flies.
Just a reminder, as you enjoy a cold one, to look forward to Miller Time later in tonight's game, brought to you by Miller Lite. Knocked down by Perez, and now he throws, and the out is recorded.
I wonder about his hand, because he didn't throw that one very well.
Remember, the Pirates don't have a challenge now, so it doesn't matter. They could ask the umpires to review it after the 7th inning, and now they're going to check on Perez's hand.
You hate to reach out there with your bare hand, but you don't really think about it, and you know it was hurting. Look at the throw.
Pretty good play there by Rojas. Looked like he did stay on the bag.
I think he kept his foot on now. Just a reaction. Most of the time, too, Greg, and I'm sure it was the case that time, if you just let the ball go, you get an easy double play. Those guys are back there. There's always somebody playing up the middle.
So Miguel Rojas keeps his foot on the bag. That wide throw from Perez. Oh, one not close. Again by Harrison. 2 for 3. Go all the way back to that first inning, and he had one of the very big hits of the game. Pirates have 9 hits total. He has 2 of them in that first inning double down the left field corner that brought home Walker and Martin with the 3rd and 4th runs of the game. Travis Snyder homered in the 2nd, made it 5-0. It's a short. There's 1, and there's 2. Last shot for the Dodgers as the Pirates try to take the series and keep pace with the Brewers. On the field and inside the clubhouse, game reaction from the team. Clint Hurdle and our Root Sports analyst. Pirates post game presented by Allegheny Health Network comes up after the game on Root Sports. Rob King will be joined by Bob Walk. 6-1. Liriano 3 outs away from getting win number 2. His other victory was in Los Angeles against the Dodgers. Jared Hughes will finish things up.
Jared has definitely moved up the totem pole this year. Pitching much later now in ball games. Started out kind of as that specialist to come in the middle of innings. He was doing such a good job of not allowing anyone's runs to score. But, really earned his spot now, and with a little shuffle at the very top, with Grelly being traded. Jared has become even more valuable up there pitching in these last 3 innings of ball games.
Scott Van Slyke 0 for 3, couple of strikeouts. Liriano went 7, gave up the 1 run on 4 hits. Wilson a scoreless 8. $30,785 on hand. Tonight's attendance. This 3-game series. And the Pirates going to make it 15 straight when scoring in the first inning. Quite a run. 15 consecutive games will be victories if Hughes gets 3 more outs. And there's 1.
Nice little slider that throws him away. He throws so many of those sinkers, and it's coming down, it's boring in on you, coming down toward your ankles, jumping in on your hands, and then he spins one and it pops out the other direction. Swings and misses off the end of the bat.
Juan Uribe hits another hard hit ball. Uribe with 5 hits in this series.
He went hunting for a sinker. He saw his front hip really turn out early. Went up there with a game plan, looking down and in. Now, if Mercer's playing a step to the left, doesn't matter. It's a ground ball out. But you could see he was looking down and in. He knew what he was going to get.
Chopper and a bobble and an out at first. Takes care of Crawford as Uribe moves to second.
Walker would like to have gotten the lead guy. You like to take care of your pitcher best you can. Don't let anybody get in the scoring position. But the important thing, obviously, with a 6-1 lead, especially after that little bit of a bobble, is just make sure you get 1 out somewhere.
Pirates about ready to win their 54th game and go a season high 7 games over 500. Going to win their 34th home game. Only one other club in baseball has won as many as 34 in its home yard. That's the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. Season series from the Dodgers. Pirates are going to win 5 of 7. Their first winning season series against the Dodgers since the year 2000. Everybody up. 0-2. The Brewers were winners. The Pirates will stay 2.5 back. The Cardinals are losing 1-0 in the top of the 7th at home to the Rays. The Pirates could, by tomorrow morning, be in a second-place tie with the Cardinals in the Central. talked about it the last 2 days. The feel here in Pittsburgh is much like we saw the second half of last year. The intensity, the electricity, the excitement. Just before that last pitch, in unison, the fans started the "Let's Go Bucks" chants. Two on Rojas. Big swing. Got a piece of it.
Rojas looked like he's asking, was that Paulie strike? Wanting to make sure he has a feel for that strike zone. I don't know if he chased one or not.
Rays get another. Two. Rojas keeping the fans on edge. 3-2, 6-1 lead. Everybody's standing here and wanting to celebrate. Send the Buccos on their way to that 10-game road trip. Another 3-2 pitch. Another foul.
Well, Hughes just staying right down there at the knees. He's not giving in and trying to come up toward the middle of the strike zone at all. He's staying where that sinker works its best. Rojas just barely able to get a piece every time to stay alive.
Bounce towards short. Mercer on to first. Praise the Jolly Roger. Buccos a season high. 7 games over 500. They take 2 of 3 from the Dodgers. They go 5-1 on this homestand. They stay 2.5 back of the Brewers. Could be tied for second in the division, pending the outcome of that Cardinal game.
A real strong outing from Liriano, obviously. Came out there, he gave us that solid 7. He looked like the Liriano that we saw last year so many times, or just in command. It just a little bit of a blip right there in that first inning, a couple of walks, but beside that, he had the good slider going, the swings and misses. Not only did he have the chases, but he was getting outs in that strike zone. And then with those runs early in the ball game really kind of made it, I think, easy for him, Greg, to go and pound that strike zone, go right after the hitters.
Bucks are finding all kinds of ways to win by scoring early, the comebacks. A lot of fun here at PNC Park. Bucks will be back in 13 days to their home yard. And now we send it downstairs to Rob King.
All right, Brownie, thanks very much. Terrific victory for the Pirates, as you mentioned, over 7 games over 500 for the first time this season, with a victory tonight, a 6-1 win over the LA Dodgers. Dan Potash is downstairs with one of the hitting stars from tonight, Travis Snyder. Danny.
Well, since Travis Snyder's been involved in a baseball game over the last couple of hours, I want to make sure you're aware of a couple numbers. With tonight's victory, the Pittsburgh Pirates are now a season best 7 games over 500. You go 5-1 on the homestand out of the All-Star break. Nice way to kind of go out on a 10-game road trip. Feeling good about yourselves?
Yeah, I mean, playing good ball. Looking forward to an off day tomorrow and get off to a good start on the road trip.
The opportunity for you to start the last couple of nights, and all you do is go 4 for 7 with 5 runs scored, a home run, a couple of RBIs. How good does it feel to contribute in that kind of role?
It's all about winning games. It's not a personal thing for me. Whether it's a bench role or a starting role, you just come here and play hard and hope for the best.
You had a pretty good seat out in left field to watch Francisco Liriano. He went 7 innings, allowed 1 run on 4 hits. May have been his best showing of the season. Good boost of confidence for him?
Yeah, something to build off. He's been throwing the ball well. I mean, it's a couple rough innings here and there, but it's good to see him back in form and something to build off of.
Travis, well done. Good luck on the road trip.
Thank you.
Guys, it's all yours.
Dan, thanks very much. And Travis Snyder, certainly a big game. And the Pirates now 29-17 since the 1st of June. That is the best record in the National League over the last 2 months. And just like we promised earlier, it's Miller time presented by Miller Lite. And why not continue on with Travis Snyder? Snyder was 2 for 4 with a walk, 2 runs, and an RBI last night. Tonight, 2 for 3, a walk, 3 runs scored, an RBI, and this home run is 5th of the year, a titanic blast. So back-to-back extremely productive nights for Travis Snyder, who figures to get maybe some more playing time with the injury to Starling Marte. So the Pirates win by the final score of 6-1. Coming up next, Bob Walker is going to join us for Pirates postgame presented by the Allegheny Health Network. The Pirates improved to 7 games over 500 in their last home game since August 5th. They'll head on the road for 10. Bob will preview that for you. Highlights, postgame reaction, and much, much more coming up next on Pirates Postgame.